Hello everyone, welcome to my first video from Guatemala. Today I will be answering the question, should you start a Facebook Marketplace account? And I sell a lot on Facebook Marketplace, so my answer is yes. Alright, thank you for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I'm just kidding. I will get more into Facebook Marketplace and why you should join, as well as some of the potential issues that you may run into. But overall, I do think this is a very good platform to add if you are thinking of cross-listing somewhere else with low fees and lots of customers. So let's jump in. I know some recent changes to Poshmark's algorithm has really frustrated some resellers there. They're not getting as many sales. I do think that time of year may be playing an impact on that. So I personally am not just abandoning Poshmark, that's still running for me. But Facebook Marketplace is definitely a good option to consider if you're looking for something new. So what I love most about Facebook Marketplace is that their sales fee is currently at 5%, which is the lowest I've seen from other platforms. This is calculated a little odd. So here I'll put a screenshot of a recent sale I had. I sold some Torrid jeans for $16. As you can see, I did not cover shipping, so the buyer paid for shipping and taxes, so the buyer ended up paying about $23. My selling fee, 5%, is based off of that $23 total that the buyer paid. And then they subtract out, the sales tax and the shipping costs, because those aren't actually paid by me. And then my estimated payout comes to $14.82. So this $16 pair of jeans, you may get paid out a different amount based on where it is shipped to, because state sales tax will be different in different states. But 5% is generally the easy math you can do to figure out what your payout's going to be. So if I were to sell this $16 item on Poshmark, the buyer would end up paying over $7 in shipping plus sales tax, and my payout would only be $12.80, which on this pair of jeans, that's only a $2 difference, not huge, but it really adds up when you're selling a large quantity of items or when you're selling higher priced items. So another benefit of Facebook Marketplace is that there are a ton of buyers on the platform already because so many people use Facebook. Unlike other sites such as Poshmark or eBay, they're not going through the extra step of creating a new account. Many people already have Facebook pages, and there are way more users on Facebook than all the other resale sites. I recently saw a chart comparing all of the active users on platforms such as Poshmark, eBay, Mercari, and I want to say that chart showed eBay had the highest, but Facebook Marketplace was not included on the chart. So I googled Facebook Marketplace active users, and it far exceeded anything else that eBay, Poshmark, whatever had. So Facebook Marketplace is definitely the way to go. It's definitely growing now that they offered shipping, which has been going on for almost 2 years at this point before you just kind of shipped on your own. But I sell a lot on Facebook. I get so many questions, so I wanted to cover some of those because if you're thinking about joining the platform, maybe you have these questions too. And some of the things I'm going to say, it's not meant to scare you away. I want to give you a realistic idea of the platform and then make you aware of any issues you could run into. And any platform that you sell on, there are going to be potential issues. So you just have to decide what's worth it for you. So how to get started? You just have to do it. So it's been so long since I set it up, and Facebook Marketplace is changing at a pretty fast pace. So right now I don't have any exact steps, but what you want to do, you want to go to Facebook Marketplace. There is probably a button that says selling and then something that says create a post. And you upload your photos, fill out a description just like any other platform, and then I believe that all people now have access to shipping right off the bat. I think they finally rolled that out to everyone. Before, you kind of had to wait and just hope that it would magically happen. So list a few things, start cross-listing items. Some people say that they make some sales right away of things that have been sitting forever, so you have to give it time. Some people aren't going to make sales right away. You have to get enough items on the platform that people want to buy, and you have to be realistic with yourself. If you've only listed 10 items on the platform and then nothing else, you're probably not going to be making daily sales. I, at this point, probably list about 10 items a day on the platform when I'm not on vacation mode. And I'm able to make daily sales there. But I also do a lot of things on the platform to increase my sales, which we'll get into some of that. But I'd recommend giving yourself like a full month of listing every day to truly see if the platform is worth it for you and to kind of get the hang of it. When something does sell, they will email you a label, or you can go into Facebook and print it out that way. It's already filled out with the buyer's information, slap it on the package, take it to the post office, you're good to go. And right now you can ship through USPS and UPS, which I really enjoy because then you can choose the cheaper shipping option for your buyer, or if you're only able to regularly get to one of those locations, you can choose what works for you. But consistency is what makes sales, so keep giving it a shot. And then people ask about shipping weight. So Poshmark, anything under $5 ships for $7 something. eBay, you put in the exact weight. Facebook is a little different in that it has tiers for weight, so under half a pound to a pound, 1 to 2 pounds, etc. And I just recently noticed that you can now input an exact weight for items. So currently I just use the tiers. I ship a lot of pretty lightweight clothing, so that works for me. But I think for heavier items such as boots, I'm going to start putting in the exact shipping rate so that my buyers can get a better deal. And I have bought a shipping scale. It has definitely been worth it for my reselling business. You can find these on Amazon. I've seen these as low as $20, so you don't need something really expensive if you're just planning to ship clothes. If you are shipping larger items, then it's maybe worth it to get a larger scale. Depends on what works for you. But with clothing, I ship a lot of the same kind of items over and over again. So tank tops, I know that those are going to be under half a pound. I'm just going to put them in a poly mailer. I never weigh them. And like, some people are like, oh my gosh, you should weigh everything. But if you're selling the same kind of things over and over again, then really you don't need to. So I want to be really honest with you guys here about how I make Facebook work for me. And then with that, a lot of people ask, what if you package it up and then you weigh it and realize it's overweight? Again, I'm going to be very honest. There is a very small margin of error where if you are 1 ounce over, you can still ship it and be pretty fairly certain that it's going to arrive. Of course, I don't want to say always. That depends on who's working at the post office, and also don't abuse that and list everything as, oh, it's only under half a pound. Because I have at one point, I shipped a baby carrier and I had never shipped one before, so I just estimated the weight when I was listing it, and it ended up being like a pound more than that, and I didn't realize that when I packaged it up. And then it, bounced around forever, eventually got returned to me, and the buyer was like, hey, I haven't received my item, and I had to pay for shipping again out of my own pocket because it was my fault. I didn't want to make the buyer pay again. So you want it to be correct, but I'm sure I've had other items that were maybe not the correct weight that did arrive. But I would say when you're starting out, weigh a few items, get kind of an idea, be like, okay, an average sweater, this is what it is. And then if you source a sweater that's, very thick, heavyweight wool, maybe then you want to weigh that. You might think, oh, this is a little bit heavier, it's probably in the next tier, I just want to double check. So if you do package it up, realize that it's the wrong weight, there are a couple things you could do. I would recommend contacting the buyer, saying, hey, I input the shipping weight wrong, completely my fault, but I want to make sure your item arrives to you. Can I cancel your order and relist it with the correct shipping weight, and then you can purchase it again? The total would be approximately $2 more. So assume responsibility, tell them what the cost would be to them, and then, make it as easy as you can on them. Because also they would have to get refunded for their first purchase and then purchase it again. So if that $2 difference drives them away, someone else will probably buy the item. Or you can say, I will reduce the cost of the item by $2 to make up for that because it was my fault. So it really depends on the item. And then some people have asked if you can upgrade the postage at the post office. I'm not as certain on this. The way that you get paid through Facebook is that when that barcode on the label scans and says delivered, you get paid a certain amount of days after that. It goes directly to your bank account, You don't have to do payouts like on Poshmark. So I really like that I'm getting paid as soon as possible for the item. But if you go to the post office and you want to upgrade the label, you can't get a new label printed because that original barcode needs to be scanned as delivered. So if they can, add a sticker or some stamps on there to make it right, that would be okay. But I've never tried that, so I would recommend just canceling the first one and getting a new label from Facebook. The question I get all the time from people who have started on the site, they're like, Amber, I'm not making any sales there, and I'm not getting any views, and I'm just a baby who doesn't know anything. And I'm like, grow up, take some responsibility. If you are doing the same thing over and over again and not making any sales, you need to try new things. I will not be there to hold your hand and be like, okay, I think you need to do this now. You have to do that for yourself. I have a 10-minute YouTube video on how to get more views on Facebook. It is my most watched video currently. Every day it's getting like 100 views. So try out all the strategies I list there. It's definitely worth it. You have to try new things on the platform. So a lot of times I'll renew my listings, which I'll get into in a bit. I run sales on the platform. I drop prices. Like any platform, some things are going to sell right away, some things are going to sit for a while. So you have to figure out what things are going to sell fast and list those. And that is a lot of what I sell. If you want to go to my Instagram, every week I post what sold. It's a little white boxes in my grid, and a lot of items I'll point out if they were a quick flip or not, and you can see the exact price that I sold the item for. Moving on, returns. I also have a full video for this, but long story short, if a buyer comes to you with wanting to return an item, if it was my fault, I'll accept responsibility, give them a refund. Otherwise, if you ignore their request or say no, right now Facebook has a loophole where they can contact support, get a full refund, and you are out the money and the item. They don't have to ship it back. So I really don't like it for that reason. That's probably the worst thing about Facebook. But I will say in the, 2-ish years that I've been shipping stuff on Facebook, I've shipped thousands of items at this point, and only twice has that happened to me. And it was both on lower priced items. So I think overall I was out $30 total. So it's really not as big of a worry as people make it out to be, but for that reason, I don't really list anything on Facebook over $100 because their seller protection is so poor. I prefer to list those items on Poshmark or Mercari, where their customer support is better and can help me. But you can't get scammed on any site. The overall risk, I would say, is pretty low. And then many people want to know how I price my items there. I price them lower than on other platforms because the fees are so much lower. And that makes the items sell faster for me. I have money to reinvest in my business sooner. So as I said before with Patagonia, if I purchase a Patagonia and I'm wanting to make roughly $55 after fees, on Facebook, I'll list it for $60, 5%. Usually comes out to about $56. If I put it on Poshmark, I would have to list it for $70 in order to make that same amount. But I also have automatic offers on Poshmark. So usually I have to list it at $85 in order to make $55. And as a buyer, if it's $25 cheaper on Facebook, I'm going to purchase it there. Many people shopping secondhand are maybe more price conscious. So, they are looking for deals. Many people have accounts on multiple pages. So if it's cheaper to purchase it from you on Facebook, I find many people go there. Some people want to know what brands do well. For me personally, I sell a lot of Patagonia, Lululemon, cheap mall brands. So recently here are some that I've sold: Nike, Miss Me, Harley Davidson, vintage items, American Eagle, Madewell, Athleta, Torrid, Abercrombie & Fitch, Patagonia, Adidas, Lululemon, Hollister, PacSun, Birkenstock, Keen, Hoka, Teva, Carhartt. There are plenty more. That's just some of them. You can look at my what sold post to see what I'm selling each week. And then many people who are just starting out, they're asking if I'm using a business page or a personal page. I use my personal page. I find that it helps build trust with buyers because they know that I'm a real person. But I have my privacy set so that they can only see so much information about my account. They can see my name. They can't see where I live or work. And they can see the year that I joined Facebook, which I think was 2011 or maybe 2009. But I find that the personal page works fine. You can try out a business page if you want, but I prefer using my personal page. It just seems to make it easier. And I also have my settings set so that my friends do not see my posts. Early on, I would list stuff on Marketplace and I would have friends or random people say, "Oh, I see you're selling a lot on Facebook." And I was like, "How do you know that?" Because my items were showing up in their news feed when they would scroll on Facebook. So I changed my settings. There's multiple places to do this. On the You page, you can scroll down to settings, manage selling settings, hide all listings from friends. Or if it's just specific items, you can, at the bottom of the post, hide from friends. Someone asked if I do local sales or porch pickup. At this point in time, I'm selling a lot of lower priced items. If I sell a $10 shirt, I'm not making a ton of profit on that. It's not worth my time to message someone about where and when we can meet, go to that place, maybe wait around for them. Oftentimes people are late and then also drive home. That takes a lot of time for me to profit, $6 on that item. If they want $100 worth of stuff, that's more worth my time and I'm willing to do it then. I currently don't do porch pickups. I live in an apartment and I would just be leaving the item outside where anyone could take it. And if it is Patagonia, that's really nice. I don't want someone else to steal it. So that's just me. If you live in a house and like porch pickup is an option, I know people with Ring cameras, they find it to be pretty safe because, they can watch the video of the person picking it up, putting money under the mat. That is also one thing. If the person seems sketchy, maybe don't do porch pickup. In that case, you're not only letting them know where you live, but also inviting them to your house. So that's not for me, but if it makes sense for your business, do it. So on Facebook, also you need your items to be seen. You need to renew and relist them. People don't quite know what these mean, so I just want to break this down a bit. So on Poshmark, you have to share your items basically all day long to get them to show up at the top of search results, to get them seen. On Facebook, you just have to do this once a week. So you renew a listing and it says keep listing active. Do that every time it's possible. And after a certain amount of time, you'll want to delete and relist the item. Facebook has an easy button for this. You don't have to do it manually. It copies the listing exactly at the same price and then deletes the old one. So instead of the listing saying posted 3 months ago, it says posted 1 minute ago. And then it will show up on the newly listed section and can get more eyes on it if it's been kind of stale. So I definitely like to do that as seasons change. I delete and relist all of the stuff that will now be in season. I've found that works really well, and I found that delete and relist is usually worth doing. I do not keep up with that like I should, so that's something I need to work on. But one other thing about Facebook, they also have a button to easily drop the price on an item. So for lower price items, it says drop price by $5. You click the button, it automatically does it. On higher priced items, you can drop it by $10 and then so on in $10 increments. And if an item's not selling, I like to do this. If, say, an item is listed for $8 and you don't really want to drop the price too much, you can go in and edit the listing and, manually drop it only $2. And I find that to be worth it. So lastly, again, I just want to say that starting on any platform is going to take some time to get up to speed and get the hang of it. I know a lot of people, try it out for a week and then get frustrated they're not making as many sales as they want to and then quit. But that's not going to help you be successful on Facebook Marketplace. So give it time, be very consistent with listing, do the things I said, renew, delete, and relist. You can watch my other videos for more information on Facebook Marketplace. So go out there, put in the work, give it time. Thank you all for watching. If this was helpful, make sure to like and subscribe. All right, love you, bye.